I have the honor of convening the 98th commencement of the University of New Haven. It's my pleasure as Chairman of the Board of Governors to welcome you to this joyous occasion. Today we celebrate the achievements of our graduates and recognize their years of hard work, self-sacrifice, and in particular, their incredible resilience and resolve. We also applaud their proud families and their friends for their support and encouragement. Please stand as Benjamin Grasso, a music major and member of the class of 2021, leads us in playing our national anthem, and remain standing as Martin O'Connor, alumnus, campus minister, and member of the faculty, delivers his invocation. Congratulations to the class of 2021, and welcome to the Charger family.
Good afternoon. During the course of today's ceremony, President Kaplan will confer degrees upon today's graduates. That's why we came. And in doing so, President Kaplan will be admitting today's graduates to the company of educated women and men with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. And no doubt one of those responsibilities is to help us find a way forward from the dark night of disease and disruption from which we are only now, thankfully, beginning to emerge. And as we begin to reacquaint ourselves with the world as we knew it, let us invite our graduates to join the work of remaking that world into a more just, more caring, more enlightened place. And so it is in that spirit that we offer this prayer. Good and gracious God, the source of all that is true, the giver of purpose and meaning to our world and to each of our lives, bless this day and every day. In the mystery of your loving presence, we live and move and have our being. Open our eyes to see your presence among us. Keep us humble before the mysteries of our world, but always diligent in the search for truth and meaning, justice and compassion. Bless those who graduate today. May they flourish in their lives and find satisfaction and joy in all that they do. Help them and each of us to remember that we are all a part of something much larger than any one of us. We pray, dear God, that you will continue to pour out your blessings upon our beloved University of New Haven. Bless our students, our faculty, our staff, and all who support our university. And to the work of a lifetime of learning, we invite your grace and our best efforts. Give to each one of us the nerve and the grace, the toughness and the sensitivity, the resolve and the compassion to always search out the truth that frees and the life that makes all things new. And so we say, Amen.
Welcome, and please be seated. I want to thank Benjamin for that stirring rendition of our national anthem, and Professor O'Connor for his powerful and appropriate words, and for all he does for the university, and for all he does for all of you in and out of the classroom. Before I refer to my written comments, I want to tell you how incredibly moving it is to see all of you here today. A year ago, like many of you, I never believed that we would be assembling like this at this point in time. And while part of me wants to celebrate, I think all of us know that would be inappropriate. There's been far too much suffering and devastation to celebrate, but I think we can all be enormously grateful for where we are today, and that we could have this event in person, and that we could start returning to a normal life. And I hope that what we've gone through and where it's taken us and what we've learned inspires all of us, but especially you graduates, to want to contribute to the good of all of us, to make this a better world, and to have, frankly, a firm belief in science, because science is what helped us get to where we are today and to join in person with one another. It's an incredible miracle that we made it this far this quickly. So with that, parents, faculty, staff, friends, family members, alumni, members of the Board of Governors, and most importantly, the class of 2021, I am proud and privileged to celebrate the culmination of your educational journey at the University of New Haven. Commencement Day is always special. Today, though, is particularly meaningful, as for many of us, it is the first time since the start of the pandemic 15 months ago that we're able to gather in a group like this and be together on such an incredibly important day. Living through this pandemic has created challenge for all of us in a multitude of ways, but I certainly know that for those of you graduating, it was, to put it mildly, a very unique year. At a critical time in your educational journeys, you were forced to adapt to new ways of learning, new forms of getting together and engaging one another, mostly virtually. And you immersed yourself in that experience with enthusiasm and with drive and with the spirit of being a Charger. Above all, you persevered. You stayed the course. You embraced and triumphantly overcame all of the obstacles that stood in your way. Amy Morin, a best-selling author and psychotherapist who gave one of the most popular TEDx talks ever, titled The Secret of Becoming Mentally Strong, once said, quote, "Mentally strong people overcome setbacks with confidence because adversity only makes them better." Class of 2021, you embodied this can-do attitude, and I am confident you will exemplify this mentality wherever your life may take you. In the midst of a global pandemic, you have successfully navigated the rigors of a higher education and have emerged stronger and better equipped to tackle the problems that face all of us. Beyond the knowledge you acquired and the experiences you gained, you developed a mindset, a resilience, and a sense of resolve that will prepare you for all of the challenges before you. I encourage you, graduates, to fight for justice, to be socially conscious, to be an advocate for equity, to be bold, to embrace innovation, and to seek new opportunities. I urge you, most importantly, to approach your future endeavors with an unwavering commitment to being a passionate individual. You should be proud of what you have already achieved, and you should be enthusiastic about all you have ahead of you. And with that, graduates, would you please stand and be recognized by all of us? And as good as that was, you can do better. Woo! Now, students, if you would, turn to your family, friends, spouses, loved ones, and recognize them. Let me also ask our faculty and staff in attendance, please stand and be recognized. Students, if you think it was a challenging year for you, you should be a faculty member. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to recognize a distinguished guest who will be receiving an honorary degree from the University of New Haven today, and therefore is an honorary member of the class of 2021. Lois Bergamy. Lois, please stand and be recognized. And now please join me in welcoming virtually. He was actually here this morning and would have loved to have been here live again this afternoon, but Washington called. Please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker, a great friend of the University of New Haven, someone that's been with us in spirit for a long time and came back today to be with us in person. Here he is virtually, the Honorable Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Hi, I'm Richard Blumenthal, United States Senator from Connecticut. To the class of 2021, congratulations on reaching this truly memorable milestone. I'm so proud and excited to be celebrating at UNH one of the great success stories in American education. I want to express my gratitude to Steve Kaplan and the spectacular leadership team at this great and growing institution. I also want to thank the accomplished faculty and staff, and of course, your parents and loved ones who have been by your side at every step. I want to say a special thanks to all the veterans here today, among the students and the audience. I couldn't be happier that you are able to enjoy this moment in person. I never thought I would say that at a commencement. The past year has felt for many to be the most challenging of their lives. Too much loss, too much pain, too many missed moments and milestones, too much turmoil. We all know someone who has lost a loved one from this pandemic or the other crisis that end lives too early: cancer, guns, loneliness, and opioids. This class, the University of New Haven class of 2021, lost one of your own, Joshua Goodhart. He should be graduating with you, but but sadly, a few months ago, he succumbed to COVID-19. One of the more than 8,000 Connecticut residents lost to this illness. To his family and friends, to all of you gathered here today, there are no words that I can offer that will ease the pain of his loss, but always keep him in your memory. There is no generation in recent memory that knows turmoil and upheaval at such a young age more than you do. You should take a measure of comfort that despite the challenges you've already faced, you're ready to be the change. For the past 20-something years, rarely a week seems to have gone by when we are not witnessing important history being made. These events remind me of a Billy Joel song called "We Didn't Start the Fire." For those not familiar with hits of the 1980s, the song was a brief history of events from the end of World War II through the late 1980s. The chorus goes, "We didn't start the fire. It was always burning. Since the world's been turning, we didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it." The reason I'm bringing up this song from The Piano Man is because I believe your generation, through all of your struggles, is more prepared than any in recent history to face the challenges we face and tackle them as a society, a nation, a species, a planet. You may not have started this fire, but you are called upon to fight it. Too often we read and see stereotypes of your generation as aloof, soft, and lost. These stereotypes are wrong. I know they are wrong because I've stood with you, attending countless marches, press conferences, Zooms, get out the vote, get out the vaccine, rallies for racial justice, and ending hate crime. I've witnessed firsthand your passion for change, your belief that our best days are ahead of us, not trapped in some idealized and inaccurate view of the past. You have stood up and spoken out against hate. You have stood up and spoken out to protect and expand the rights of your fellow men and women. You have stood up and spoken out for your planet, and you have stood up and spoken out for change. Members of this class have worked closely with the Tau Youth Justice Institute and its Myatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion to advance the cause of social justice. On multiple occasions, members of this class have testified before the Connecticut Transparency, Police, and Accountability Task Force. Emily Bean, a Master of Public Health student, served as a contact tracer for the Connecticut Department of Public Health. Anissa Poirier, a member of the ROTC program, was ranked 4th best among senior cadets nationwide by the United States Army Cadet Command. And now, as you move forward in your lives professionally and personally, you will continue to stand up for what is right. You will change the face of law enforcement. You will reverse the harmful impacts of climate change. You will end needless wars. You will stand up to hate and discrimination. You will leave our world a better place than you found it. Make no mistake, there will be challenges still ahead. You will face setbacks, but look at all you've already been through. I want to tell you about two dear friends of mine, Kristen and Michael Song. Kristen and Mike have experienced unspeakable loss. It's a loss that I pray none of you will ever experience yourselves. Through their pain, they have led a change that has saved lives. We will never know how many, but I know lives have been saved. Their son, Ethan, was killed because of an unsecured gun at a neighbor's house in Guilford in 2018. Ethan was just 15 years old. The Songs could have let grief overwhelm him. No one would have blamed them if they had. But instead, they fought to pass Ethan's law in Connecticut to require firearms to be properly secured. Governor Lamont signed that law in 2019. Together, Kristen, Mike, and I are fighting to pass a national version of Ethan's Law, a law I'm hopeful we will, in fact, soon pass. I tell you this story because their tragedy and heartbreak has inspired positive change. Even if you haven't been moved before to march for a change, to knock doors for a cause, a moment could call your name. You should be prepared for it. Every American generation makes a compact with the last to leave the country better for Americans to come. You are part of that compact. Never lose sight that you can make a real and positive difference in the lives of others. You didn't start the fire, but you're called on to fight it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Blumenthal. When Sam Bergamy was chairman of the board, he would often get up here at the podium and tell me that I had improvised and he didn't know where we were in the script anymore. He got used to that. Well, I went out of sequence here and left out a few people I was thanking, and of course, I left out the chairman of the board, Charlie Pompey, and former chairman of the board, Sam Bergamy. And in particular, I want to thank all of the members of the commencement committee and the members of the COVID task force at the university for making sure that we could gather here today so successfully and safely. I would now like to introduce today's student speakers. First, Nazir Woodson, who is graduating today with a bachelor's degree in finance, will offer remarks on behalf of the undergraduate student body. Then Clarissa Lopez, who is graduating with a master's degree in national security, will give remarks on behalf of the graduate student body. Nasir?
Good afternoon. My name is Nasir Woodson, and it is truly an honor for me to be here with you today on this very stage, delivering the undergraduate commencement speech. Congrats to my fellow graduates. We made it to this wonderful moment in time, which is a culmination of our hard work and perseverance. I bring greetings to the university's administration, faculty, staff, my parents, and fellow guests. Adaptation has been a vital factor in my life, considering the amount of change that has occurred. When I was young, I lived in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and my mother's passing caused a complete manipulation of how I perceived my life. Afterwards, I moved to Lawrenceville to live with my extended family. Assimilation into a new environment was initially difficult, but as I matured, I understood uncertainties intrinsic to the nature of life. Trenton was my final destination, and after much strife, this lesson's repetition was reaffirmed with every stage in my life. Fast forward to my high school career. I attended 3 high schools, and this is my second university. I may not make the best decision at first, but eventually I get it right. When I arrived at UNH, I was barely a business major, lost in other people's advice trying to dictate my journey. I was at a moment of transition because I was portraying a version of myself that appeased others at my own expense. I valued external validation in the name of safety. Anxiety soon followed, and it kept my breath short, but my nights long. But my life changed when I realized that I couldn't give up my dreams in the name of fear. And it was the absence of this fear that empowered me to keep breathing, because I soon found I had the strength that I was looking for. Over the past year, we may have felt like that, like it was difficult to breathe. We've had experiences that seemed tailored to take our breath away. In a blink of an eye, social isolation became the norm. Life became sponsored by Zoom, but yet we remained, and we made it. As we reflect on our time here as Chargers, it's important to celebrate the fruit of our labor and perseverance we've endured throughout the process, and finally, take a breath. Our class has faced a plight that no one has seen for almost 100 years. Yet we remain here today, ready to take on a world that has a daunting job market. But it is our grace through the struggle that will aid us in our future endeavors in pursuit of success. This past year, we may have faced the loss of family members, a stunted college experience, financial hardship, social isolation, and don't forget the countless Zooms. Who do we become after this? How has this changed us as people? It is not the presence of adversity that defines us, but rather how we respond. This is not the end, but rather the beginning. It is the beginning of us using our skills we've acquired as students to not only survive, but to thrive in the face of adversity. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We have endured the valleys, put in the work so we can enjoy the mountaintops. As we navigate through our life, we can remember these historic times and remind ourselves of the strength and the fortitude that we have. Adversity breeds innovation, resilience, and greatness. Our class has the opportunity to succeed beyond our wildest dreams because we've been through the trenches and we came out victorious. Who do we become after this? It's our story to write. Congrats to us, and let's continue to charge on. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Standing up here right now is a great privilege and honor, so thank you. Class of 2021, today we represent the future. I stand up here a passionate, impatient, first-generation Afro-Latino woman as officially part of the 4% of the Latinx community to receive her master's degree. And I am here to tell you, I can't wait to see that number grow. Despite the many challenges we faced, from online learning, social isolation, the impact of COVID-19, social unrest across the country, and political division, we persevered and made it to commencement today. Thank you to Summer McGee and the COVID Task Force for how well they handled the pandemic. The protocols kept students and staff safe while maintaining an essence of community on campus. Thank you to President Kaplan for ensuring to create an inclusive environment. His acknowledgement and voicing of concerns for the ongoing challenges that different communities faced were not dismissed, but were rather discussed. And that is just one of the reasons I'm proud to call myself a New Haven Charger. I stand here a manifestation of my mother and my father. When I was born, my father said I looked like a tadpole. Well, guess what, Papi? This tadpole has metamorphosed into a leaping frog out of the pond and into the battle of injustice. Some of you might wonder why I included impatient. Well, I somehow managed to finish this master's program in about 8 months while working full-time and doing 2 internships. How? Café Bustelo. And this is where I hope a rep is watching, and if so, please sponsor me. But in all seriousness, being the first to finish this master's program so quickly, the first in my family to go to grad school, it's exciting because it delivers an outcome to a possibility. My lived experiences, such as the microaggressions, the funny looks, the statements of you'll probably work in a factory for the rest of your life, and the reading between the lines of people asking, what are you and where are you from? The never wanting to accept the statement of, I was born in New York. I've lived the life of constantly having to adapt to new environments, and so while writing this speech, I felt like there was a lot I wanted to say in a short amount of time. And for those that know me, including my professors, they know I don't know how to keep things short. They tell me 10 pages and I'd write 16, so I'm sorry about that, but I decided to put the rest of my words into a short poem titled, What is Justice? Justice is supposed to be part of our core foundation, entrenched in the preamble of the Constitution, yet somehow the scales of Lady Justice have tilted, causing irreconcilable harm to the degree that the sentence, I can't breathe, wasn't spoken due to joyous laughter, but due to inflictions of harm caused by institutionalized racism. Justice is where police are demilitarized, accountability is sustained, and active community-oriented policing is at the core of our law enforcement. Justice is where 17 out of every 10,000 Americans no longer needs to sleep on the streets at night. Justice is where health care is affordable to everyone, and so a person who feels ill or a person who has a sick child should not second guess whether they step foot into an emergency room because that bill will take up that month's rent. Justice is one without ignorance nor profiling for a religion that is not yours. Justice is where the sexual assault of 1 in 2 women and 1 in 10 men does not exist. Justice is where court sentences are carried out through the truthful scales of Lady Justice and are not tainted by the complexion and stigmatization of one's historical existence. Justice is one where education is not classist, ageist, or a race issue that is considered a reward for people like me. My justice is standing here with the blood of my ancestors, expressing this para mi familia. My justice is for my brothers and sisters, my people of color, my members of the LGBTQ2+ community, my survivors, and anyone else who's been blinded by faulty justice. Justice is one where me standing here is not questioned or presumed that I am here due to my looks, but recognition that I am here because of the hard work that I put into being here and why I have the privilege of delivering this speech today. Together, class of 2021, we can inspire. On this commencement today, we take the lessons learned thus far, including the ones here at the University of New Haven, because this is not the end. And so I ask the graduating class of 2021, what is your justice? Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Two powerful, thoughtful student commencement comments, followed by a very powerful poem. It is now my pleasure to recognize Lois Bergamy, who will receive today an honorary degree. Lois, would you please stand?
Lois Bergamy, passionate philanthropist, dedicated ambassador, exemplary role model. One of the University of New Haven's most devoted benefactors, you have dedicated your life to your family, your friends, and the communities you are a part of, and to giving back to an institution that has long held a special place in your heart. The Bergamy family name is synonymous with the University of New Haven. From the many scholarship funds you have established, to your support for signature spaces that represent the very fabric of the university experience, including the Bergamy Center for Science, Technology, and Innovation, and the home of the university's award-winning radio station that bears your name, you have created countless transformational learning experiences for our students. We know your family holds you in the highest esteem as a role model, and that your children say you have instilled in them the importance of family and tradition and taught them that the true definition of generosity is sharing what you have with others. You and your husband, Sam, put it best when you were recognized by the university's Student Philanthropy Council, saying, "We encourage all students to keep spreading the spirit of giving, not only on our campus, but throughout their lives." Lois Bergamy, in recognition of the far-reaching impact of your philanthropy and your volunteer leadership, the University of New Haven is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
And before I confer the degree upon you, Lois, I want to thank you for 17 incredibly transformational years working together with you and Sam on behalf of our students and on behalf of the university. You've been tireless in your dedication to our cause and to our mission. You've been an incredible friend to my wife, Anna-Mona, and me. You stood by us through my cancer and my wife's serious back surgery like few others. You've always been there when we needed you. And to paraphrase Sam, most people don't know this, but I made Sam and Lois Bergamy millionaires. Before they met me, they were multimillionaires. You've given back to the university in just remarkable ways, and you're a wonderful person. So I thank you for your friendship, and I thank you for all you've done for these incredible students over the years. And therefore, Lois Bergamy, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the University of New Haven, I confer upon you the degree of Humane Letters honoris causa. Congratulations. We will now present the class of 2021 with their degrees.
Mr. President, I would first like to recognize Dr. Henry C. Lee.
Is he here?
Thank you, Henry, for all you've done for the university.
And Provost Gabry, just to ruin the surprise for the students, Dr. Lee is going to take over at some point the remainder of the program, seriously. And he's offered to close the program. And if you think I go off script, wait till you hear him.
Now, back on the script. Mr. President, as provost, I now have the honor to present the candidates for academic degrees. I ask them to rise and remain standing until their degrees have been conferred. Candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Science, please stand. Yep, he's out there. Candidates for the Master of Public Administration in the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, please stand. There you go. Candidates for the Master of Science in the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, please stand. Candidates for the Master of Business Administration in the Pompey College of Business, please stand. Candidates for the Master of Science in the Pompey College of Business, please stand. You should all be standing. Thank you. Candidates for the Bachelor of Science in the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, please stand.
Whoa.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in the Pompey College of Business, please stand. Candidates for the Bachelor of Science in the Pompey College of Business, please stand. And candidates for the Associate of Science in the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, please stand. These candidates have completed their prescribed courses of study and have been examined and recommended by the faculty. Mr. President, I now ask you to confer on these candidates the respective degrees for which they are qualified. Please note that at the end of the listing of the graduates from each school and college, we will read the names of graduates who have requested to be recognized in absentia.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the University of New Haven, I hereby confer on each of you the degree for which you have been recommended and admit you to the rights, honors, and responsibilities of educated individuals. Congratulations. And I want you to know that nobody is on mute. I thought that was a good joke, sorry. For those of you that have been living virtually, I think you know what I mean. So, on Zoom, we ask that the graduates and their families remain in their seats until the ceremony has been completed as a show of respect for all whose achievements are being recognized today in the granting of their degrees. At this point, please be seated.
As acting Dean of the Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, no? Okay. You guys are out, I get it. It is now my pleasure to present the individual candidates for their degrees. Eric Robert Dugolinski, my apologies, PhD in Criminal Justice. Leslie Yadelny Gonzalez.
Taylor Brianna Persons. Eric R. Peck. Clarissa Evelise Lopez. Aaliyah Allison Angelique Preston. Anna Yvette Pridemore. Luke Alexander Malte. Morgan Page Godelski. Jeffrey George Naples. Kristen Kathy Murata. Tiana M. Felton. Amari Cook. Jessica Brito. Yasser Masood Al-Dagman. Paul Michael Yount. Nicholas James Gogola. Daniela Nutile. Taylor Lee McKinney. Pablo I. Enriquez. Savon Aubrey Armistead. Alana Lizette Maria Herskowitz. Felicia Ray Davino. Sophie Elizabeth Hergen. Elena Elizabeth Albino. Erin Elizabeth Domino. Christine L. Campanelli. Kathleen Amstad. Jeffrey Michael Falcone. Patrick Byrne. Brandon Michael Kelly. Alexandria Gabriolette Gomes. Jennifer Ann Hutchins. Garrett Greathouse. Griffin Casada. Kelsey A. Springer. Darren Alexandra Javer. Paul Ross Eagleston. Pamela M. Young. Jordan Peter Alvarado. Melissa Ann O'Donnell. Adam Michael Burnett. Leanne Marie Pereira. Emily L. Gilliga. Lauren Elizabeth Risley. Caitlin Elizabeth Del Vento. Gabriella Renee D'Amico. Rebecca Madeline Allen. Michaela Marie Barone. Nicole Ann Charbonneau. Chelsea Ferranti. Jasmine E. Allers. Emily Grace Tierney. Jonas Eric Kavanaugh. Annabelle Campanella. Courtney Melissa Mangum. Philip R. Pasante. Christine Alice Wilson. Etta Hamed Habalri. Esra Sanosi Brakawi. Janeska Loren Cardona. Julia Mi-jung Pierce. Ana Maricela Mercado. Diana A. Pudelko Heitch. Samantha Shirley Murphy. Kyle M. Courtney. Gladys Marie Torres. Taylor Marie Walsh. Jade Ashley Soden. Caitlin Erin McGovern. Sabrina Rose Williams. Karina Rodriguez. Alana Karena Johnson. Shirley Conyers. Poshao Eva Shea. Jonika D. Russell. Syed Aleem Ahmed. Jennifer Lynn Ackerley. Julian A. LaRusso. Ashley Nicole Kavanaugh. Tommy Joseph Crowley. Matthew C. Lind. Olivia Judith Galella. Ayaven Andrea Hovdenak Meya. David Marcel Stoltz. Sudhir Chikakara. Ava Yadira Gutierrez. May Ali Hussein. Damien Emile Vassal. Graciela Michelle Carrion. Ray Field Smith. Caleb Bazemore. Mungri Lee. Armani S. Bedford. Abdul Aziz Mujib Al-Khatani. Crystal L. Groger, cum laude. Megan Joan Earhart. Gianna Marie Gambali, magna cum laude. Anisha Kumar. Cassidy A. Williams, cum laude. Hunter Terrell Addison. Jessica L. Caputo. Amelia Ruth Suey. Emily Rose Souza. Olivia Ives Emerson, summa cum laude. Samantha Ann Baldwin. Zoe Ann DeFazio. Starlene Mary Paris, summa cum laude. Jennifer Marie Edwards. Lily Marie Manzo, cum laude. Brianna Iris Borrero. Rachel Telsis, cum laude. Shania A. Wacho. Vincenzo Luis Morrow. Trisha Whitney Brady, summa cum laude. Megan Michaela Turney, magna cum laude. Caitlin Suzanne Gilman, cum laude. Jelani Ashley Lawrence, magna cum laude. Jacob Thomas Scholl, cum laude. Michael Thomas Kenny. Michael A. Duffy III. Dylan Glenn Rothwell. Dylan H. Lankowski. Alyssa Nicole Renzulli, magna cum laude. Shaylin Michelle Johnson. Taylor Ann Martinek. Barbara Catherine Becker. Marjorie Claudia Carpio. Mary Catherine Stout, magna cum laude. Erin Mary Setkowski, magna cum laude. Jonathan Zachary Almeida Paz. Krista M. Garcia. Alexandra Lindsay Pierce, magna cum laude. Delaney Lynn O'Keefe. Hunter M. Forrest, cum laude. Jared P. Boudreau. Peter Edward Hill. Corey D. Wells, Jr. Rachel Elizabeth Muley. Madeline Page King, magna cum laude. Kiera Sinead Gallagher. Cheyenne Combs Olmsted, cum laude. Jacqueline Verdi. Lauren Ashley Earhart, summa cum laude. Angelica Kirkos, magna cum laude. Zariah Irene Mormon. Jessica Nicole Enos, cum laude. Robert Peter Chame. Zoe C. Morse. Jarrett Arthur Pyrus. Jacob Bryce Madison. Jordan Kenneth Harrell. Matthew John Marinas, summa cum laude. Eric Raymond Robinson, summa cum laude. Julian H. Muller III, cum laude. Jessica D. Canales, summa cum laude. Tanzania Stevens. Natalie Griselle Long. Francis Russell. Carly Ann Casney. Justin Joseph Phoenixty. Kyle Richard Dansereau. Matthew John DeRoller. Thomas Robert Tullo. Sean Spain Sullivan. Tyler Michael Poston. Alexandra Michelle Ortiz. Courtney Spade, summa cum laude. Joshua Ryan Parody, magna cum laude. Colin John Squire, summa cum laude. Eric Robert Sandstrom, cum laude. Gabriela Anis Gonzalez Colon. Victoria Francesca Giacobbe. Hannah Marie Odom, cum laude. Brenna Isabella Arroyo. Eliza Grace Orler. Jordan Renee Sandlin. Jared Robert Griffin. Justin Cole McMath, cum laude. Amanda Nicole Pappas, summa cum laude. Liliana Emily Moody. Junie Ju. Mariangeli Medina Pla. Anari Wimberly Kingberry. Aaron Joseph Ehrlich. Nicholas John Hulsman, cum laude. Christopher Matthew Fogarty. Victoria Bernice Robinson. Laura Elaine Gardner. Melissa L. Schmidt. Anna Tran, cum laude. Hannah Rose Winokur, cum laude. Cassidy Diana McHugh, cum laude. Joseph William Drake, summa cum laude. Rachel Lynn Clavette, magna cum laude. Rachel Adler, summa cum laude. Alyssa Alexis Ramirez. Caitlin Marie Sauer. Megan Shirley Lynn Schreiner. Sarah Pearl Bigabal. Samantha Ashley Steele, cum laude. Angela Marie Boland, magna cum laude. Marissa K. Lehner, summa cum laude. Kimberly Branwin Plude. Robin Michelle Hines, cum laude. Nancy Debbie Holmes, magna cum laude. Erin Michelle Stevenin. Christian Luzak. Kelsey E. Walsh, magna cum laude. Megan A. Mazzio. Wesley James Dyer, cum laude. David Michael Vilas, cum laude. Anthony Mark Nigro, cum laude. Joshua Luke Peter Carrier. Benjamin Philip Morgan, Jr. Rudy Beth Martinez. Maya Elise Davis. Allison Ann Porter, cum laude. Erica N. Cherise. Matthew Earl Wentz, cum laude. Jacob Montgomery McKay. Kira Denishi Lupaki. Alexandra M. Grace, cum laude. Brenna Marie Levesque, magna cum laude. Erica Rose Markowski. Peter J. Pasterok. Lauren E. D'Onofrio. Amira Corey. Callie L. Greathead. Bernadette M. Tiberi, magna cum laude. Maria Carol Berg. Samantha L. Annunziata. Brianna Maria McPhee, cum laude. Casey M. Daniels. Rosalie Urizar. Robin Monique DeSauniers. Alexandra J. Passeru. Alexis Lee Rossi. Clark S. Pellington. Michael Christopher Ireland. Lily Carolina Salmeron, cum laude. Gabriella Marie Flamia. Helen Giselle Vasquez. Catherine Elizabeth Parafati, magna cum laude. Jessica Lee Chamble, magna cum laude. Americo Luis Mendez. Anthony John Santoro, cum laude. Michael Mora. Kevin Thomas Fay Jr. Nicholas Edmund Finn, cum laude. Sarah Chunjang Lupino, magna cum laude. Eric William Moore. Cameron Alexander Philippe, magna cum laude. Jacob Peter Novick. Alec James Desjardins, cum laude. Emily R. Sands. Kaylin Patricia Gay Lambert, magna cum laude. Celia Rose Basso, cum laude. Jesmaya Molina, magna cum laude. Trajan Francis Chirema. Alyssa Di Stefano. Caitlin D. Gravel. Devontae Terrell Yearwood, magna cum laude. Medina Selly Cipoletti Sid. Jack Robert Scalise, cum laude. Christian Paul Werner, magna cum laude. Michael R. Fallon. Nicole Ann Stelmack. Mariah Morales. Jacob Elias Rodriguez. Jessica Natasha O'Malley. Alec T. Fadusha. Tyler Anthony Andela. Adam J. Postrowski. Dominic Vincent Funa. Damian M. Saldana. Allison Yu, cum laude. Allison Danielle Bruno, magna cum laude. Taylor Lee Ryan. Rachel Habersky. Isaac Marquez Jr. Christian C. Blanger. Thomas Ernest Connect, cum laude. Ashlyn Zapolsky, cum laude. Casey Marie Lupo, magna cum laude. Eleanor Jean Jacoby Hill. Esgy Arkin, cum laude. Hande Ozdemir. Kadeem M. McCoy, cum laude. Mara Catherine Hodge, magna cum laude. Dominic Enzo Del Basso, cum laude. Ian Andrew Thresher, magna cum laude. Kimberly Nicole Nelson. Mario Pesseret. Chase Vadik Walbridge, magna cum laude. Ashley Jordan Kelleher. Morgan Marie Durinick, cum laude. Nicholas J. Batista. Let's go! Ryan William Vanalik. Michael Edward Quast. Chase Joseph Notary, summa cum laude. John Martin Finn Jr., summa cum laude. Carmelo Joseph Mattioli, cum laude. Cody Michael Rue, magna cum laude. Anna Grace Albraccio. Trevor Matthew Dykes, summa cum laude. Michaela Jean Guel, cum laude. Jacqueline Jacine Torillo. Elizabeth Marie O'Neill, summa cum laude. Carlos Antonio Rivera. Tajay M. Thompson. Corey Richard Compositor, cum laude. Jonathan Gregory Somjen. Samantha Ellen Davidson, summa cum laude. Daniel Joseph Stott, summa cum laude. Dylan Shane Cohere. Jessica Michelle Doyle. Denise Martinez, summa cum laude. Christina Maria Caruso. Elizabeth Evelyn Cotty. Ryan Joseph Faustini, cum laude. Tamim Hagazi. Noah Thomas Diaz. Maria Alexandria Bygos, magna cum laude. Alexandria M. Ross, summa cum laude. Martina Ibrahim, cum laude. Allison Jade Peterson. Olivia Mae Murray. Angelica Centeno. Carol Ann Maureen Nemergut. Maxwell A. Duckworth. Abdulrahman Mohammed Al-Sharari. Abdulrahman Mufarj K. Al-Dusari, Sr. Sean McGuire Kennedy, cum laude. Randall Jack Patton, cum laude. Stephen Maxwell Marino, magna cum laude. Tyler J. Richmond. Ethan Edward Denton. John Salvatore Garnacha. Joseph Elijah Rubino, magna cum laude. Raymond Alexander Loftus Jr. Elena Rose Monarca. Paulina Venilanova Batova, summa cum laude. Saida Aruba Sultana. Samantha Grace Santarelli. Evelismar Velosa Ruiz. Jennifer Elizabeth Heisler, magna cum laude. Brianna Rose Duffy. Gustav Trotta. Carlos Miguel de Jesus. Nicholas Joseph Malloy. Francesca Nicole Pimenta. Odaliz Aquino Calderon. Areli Jawali Parra Lopez, magna cum laude. Sophia C. Radzim, magna cum laude. Mary Elizabeth Hoban. Shelby Savannah Clegg, magna cum laude. Megan Teresa Delphinus. Mary Carol Rishmani. James McAllister King. Michael W. Donnelly. Joseph Clarence Lachek IV. Dominique Karen Kunz. Madison Elise Rodriguez, cum laude. Emily Rose Neely, magna cum laude. Stephanie Lynn Testa. Jasmine R. Barrows.
Brandon Christian Ross, cum laude.
Dante Travis Snell. Cole James Maslanka. Noelle Christina Stanlin. Shivani K. Patel. Marita Jean Gallagher, cum laude. Michael Capicelli. Michael Stallinge. Brett Raymond Huber. John Tyrell. Michael Alexander Wilson, magna cum laude. Joinit Souza. Casey Lynn Moore, magna cum laude. Michelle A. Zaruma Cueva. Robert Preston Choice, magna cum laude. Valeria de Souza Peixoto, cum laude. Azam Ahmed B. Aljoani. Jaza Hadiji Almuteri. Jasmine Sierra White, magna cum laude. Amanda Grace Rickett, magna cum laude. Anna Janine Nunez. Alicia A. Raitano. Olivia Sal Criscolo. Ashley Elizabeth Sosa. Jenna Rose Peduzzi. Freddie E. Escobar Ochoa. Jenny Melissa Escobar, cum laude. Angel Luis de Jesus III. Natalie Michelle Howard Roman. Katrina M. Owalette. Megan E. Lentini. Isabel Marie Rego. Alexandra Marie Reyna. Natalie Aparicio. Josephine A. Martinez.
As Dean of the Pompey College of Business, it is now my pleasure to present the individual candidates for their degrees.
Stanley Nanya Anyang Keakari. Jonathan R. DiFilippo, magna cum laude. Joshua R. Ramsey. Elijah Jacob Farrow. Miranda Paige Iannuzzi. Paige Elizabeth Gionette, magna cum laude. Nasir Unique Woodson. Parina Latlakar. Atakishi Nadara. Hannah Ali Al-Sharani. Silas Shannon III. Leslie Stanislaus Murray. Courtney J. Smith. Mona Kafaga. Simone Charisse McGuire. Michael Joseph Pitts. Marissa Nicole Vittorio. Brittany Mitchner Jeter. Anthony Christopher Mangelo. Brian J. Bazernicki, Jr. Nicholas William Castellarine. Thomas Michael Cecina, magna cum laude. Emma Catherine Bushway. Angela Therese Villanueva Chan, magna cum laude. Kelly Carilla. Grace Giovanna Vestro. Matthew James Elia. Mario R. Tercios. Brittany Michelle Mann, cum laude. Joshua Alexander Gary, summa cum laude. David Elias Ojami. Matthew Paul Lucio. Michael M. Pergola. Vincent Santino Civarella. Andrew Joseph Ilnicki. Justin M. Edwards. Justin Michael Cronin. Anthony Bell. Alyssa Emma Stamets, cum laude. Shane D. Burwell. Gabriel E. Velasquez Barrio. Isabella Sicaranza. Megan Mihua Mahar. John Austin Babish. Enrique Antonio Hernandez, magna cum laude. Andrew Nathan Brum. Manpreet Singh Randahawa. Shivam Patel. Denzel Quidgel Dankwa Bruce. Aries Alexandria Burrell. Christian J.K. Clark. Raquel J. Hudson, cum laude. Tanushri Olivia Tiwari. Brian Kenneth Burt. Sharif Ahmed. Sibel Chelik. Marwan Ramadan Beckett Sr. John Robert Gamby Jr. Samantha Amelia Goller. Christian Tyler Gabadon. Salamawit Melise Hitchrick. Robert John Hawkins Jr., magna cum laude. Dante M. Gonzalez. Eric Timothy Armstead, magna cum laude. Gianna Maria Taylor. Rushmi Surma. Yashoda Dangol. Chaitali Chauketyu Chinoy. Kush R. Mystery. Anika Prakash Sabu. Timothy Milton Lord. Angelise Lynn Wolfhope, magna cum laude. Samantha M. Canis. Sarah Abdul Haq. Cassandra Lynn Austin. Taylor Lynn Hoyda. Michael Philip Calabrese, summa cum laude. Hannah N. Krautwurst, cum laude. Stephanie Ann Zide. Carly Elizabeth Talora. Emma Rose Beckerman, summa cum laude. Gabrielle Lindsay Tayag, cum laude. Hao Chen-Ju. Elizabeth C. Cook. Noah David Falkowski. Ethan Andrew Ayat. Luke Emerson Spivey. Matthew Robert Moroso. Arben Zodo. Garrett Montgomery Fassett, cum laude. Richard Warner Hauser. Jason Andrew Clark. Rachel Didomi Apinagari. Ade Jumoke Alawasun Balogun. Priscilla Ose. Su Ling Long. Adeline Menginto Fawn. Edward James Whitman IV. Michael J. Knobloch IV. Skylar Ann Fantasy. Sarah Grace Fredette. Rahul Thakur. Parshva Nahar. Kyle Andrew Longo, magna cum laude. Ankur B. Varadia. Jewel A. Burnett. Jack Peter Summer.
Sachi Patel, summa cum laude.
Michelle Ribeiro Canera, cum laude. Nicholas Vincent Maluski, cum laude. Tyler Daniel Wist. Leanna Jean Rutherford. Michael Andrew Giamona. Nicholas Matthew Atkins. Carmen A. Salenza, magna cum laude. Ritu Jitendra Patel. Unique A. Smith. Zachary Edgar Almonte. Estanislao DeSeno, magna cum laude. Samantha Roth. Brianna Nicole Braza. Sean Michael Walsh, cum laude. Brody Michael Vaughn. Brian Daniel Carney. Michael Patrick Cottrell. Blake M. Aruda, PhD. Kenneth Luis Bisano. Daniel Kevin Smith. Zachariah Adam Peacott, magna cum laude. Lillian C. Reyes. Parviz Ahmed. Parth Manoj Bahai Mystery. Emmanuel Savio. Rutwa Sanjeev Shah. Athia Shailesh Tahakkar. Ritik Kumar. Antonia C. Lawrence. Evelyn Gabriela Menendez. Bree R. Pergola, cum laude. Denathan Gerald Knox. Rossano Di Carlos Jones II, cum laude. Xiaodan Candy Situ. Nina Victoria Bazan. Russell Anthony Kobarecki. Gaetano Familetti. William Ayers. Hubert Bukowski. Alec Brown. Paul George Cooper. Zaire Aquan Fernandez. Tommy White. Dewani Nikhil Parekh. Vihitha Malarapu. Sauharda Sankurathri. Brittany Marie Nuzzo. Rachel Louise Myjack. Lauren Rose Smith. Katie Marie Tierney. Mary Rose Andrew. Nicholas James Picciarzello. Benjamin John Rizzo. Maximilian Rothenbeecher. Jocelyn Rodriguez. Taylor Lee Durchin. Sierra Noel Anderson. John Henry Matthew Andrus. Michael Nicholas Beatty. Crystal Marie Bear. Mark William Biver. Benjamin Richard Borecki. Arlene Borgia. Enrico John Borelli. Sean Zappa Brancato. Eve Loudon Charles. Jacob Nathaniel Cornish. Angelica Maria Cruz Centeno. Summa cum laude. Kristen Lynn Siebart. Summa cum laude. Catherine Mary Della Russo. Joseph W. Duell. Amanda Grace Dye. Caitlin Farrell. Mark Fellman. Joseph Paul Fitzpatrick, cum laude. Charles William Forster. Casey Tess Mary French. Kyle Charles Froelich. Hannah Garvin. Robert Norwood Hanson. Ivy Hugh, cum laude. Samantha Page Jansen. Sema Batul Kazmi. Doyeri Adama Raul Cohn. Christian Peter Lipoli. Megan Elizabeth Mamola. Michael Austin Mankovich. Magna cum laude. Dave Mansing. Timothy Patrick McKernan. Francisco Luis Medina. Charles T. Morrison. Paige Elizabeth Nysonger. Magna cum laude. Alex Demetrius Pace. Sean Patrick Patterson. Willa Ramdas. Yerusel Nalani Santos. Mark R. Schneider. Edson Stephen Segovia. Alyssa Kaylee Sisson. Erin Amanda Smith. Michaela Ann Sullivan. Magna cum laude. Jeffrey Matthew Sweet. Cum laude. Ashley Nicole Vogel. Fawaz Alwash. Ethan Matthew Bankowski. Jacqueline N. Bacarasa. Magna cum laude. Andrea Chopit. Julia Maureen Davies. Jonathan R. D. Filippo. Magna cum laude. Timothy M. Dunn. Zaire Aquan Fernandez. Shannon M. Frechette. Summa cum laude. Jack Graham Fryer. Simo Kraguljak. Keith N. Lesner. Paula A. Morales. Cum laude. Nathan Everett Peduzzi. Sarah Sahib. Caitlin Sancharico. Magna cum laude. Robert Christopher Stock. James W. Stewart. Robert Joseph Thomas. Brandon Anthony Torres. Thomas G. Walraven.
Graduates and guests, I'm Dr. Henry Lee. Thank you. I'm proud to be with you today to celebrate the class of 2021. They wrote a 6-page of the script for me. I know you're tired. I'm tired. You're ready to celebrate. So I'm going to skip to page 2. Congratulations. Now skip to page 3. As you leave here today, embark on the next chapter in your life. I encourage you to never forget your root at UNH. Have knowledge in your mind, courage in your body, honesty in your heart, and friend in your life. Don't forget what you learned. Use your knowledge and your skill. Make a differences in your own life, your family, and the community, and the world. Now quickly skip to page 5. At this time, as the final act of your commencement ceremony, to please rise and move your tassel on your motorboat from the right to left, right to left. Congratulations, class 2021. Keep making us proud. Thank you. Thank you.